But if they had to pick, the authors say the single biggest determinant is really kind of the culture in the home around matters of faith and the relationship with parents. So one thing I found super fascinating is there's actually a lot of research. There's a scholar at Notre Dame, Christian Smith, and he and another sociologist, Amy Adamczyk is I think her name. The two of them wrote a book called Handing Down the Faith. This research has really shown that when they kind of survey young people who choose to remain practicing their faith, the single biggest factor that seems to kind of unite the people who choose to remain with the faith that they were given in childhood is parenting, specifically things like the parenting style that they had. Children who would say they were really attached to loving parents and whose parents were witnesses to the faith in daily life, where we talked about it a lot. We had two-way conversations, so not just sort of this authoritarian kind of you're going to believe because I said so, but these like rich conversations in the home as the child is growing up where the faith is alive, where they're catching their parents praying. I've heard someone say it. There's all this research now about kind of the ways that all of these things kind of boost the odds that your children end up deciding, yes, I do want to practice that faith. And it's not to say it's this formula, right, that this is guaranteed to work, but I think when I think back on my childhood, it's very intuitive. Like, yeah, of course, if I catch my dad watching football all the time, if I'm a child, I might grow up and be like, football's really important. If they have a loving relationship with their parents, they tend to just like imitate and emulate, right, what their parents do. And it's the same with prayer. It's the same with the faith. This research also suggests that kind of those two-way positive communications about matters of faith, keeping the communication open, having those conversations generally be two-way and positive, that correlates with, more successful likelihood of intergenerational faith transmission. Going to services or mass every Sunday or at once a week correlates. Schooling doesn't seem to be as highly correlated. There are other things like having a lot of adults around besides the parent who are also mentors and models in faith is really good. Lots of attendance of programming at the parish or the church or the synagogue, that can boost the odds. But if they had to pick, the authors say the single biggest determinant is really kind of the culture in the home around matters of faith and the relationship with parents. Like I said, it's not a formula. We obviously need to just pray daily for our children, for their souls, for God's plan for them, their lives. I just want parents to know how significant what they're doing in the home really is.